Hey, what's up guys, it is Deathstalker here with another video from Helldivers. In this one we'll be going over the Hazmat Ops DLC pack. Now first, what exactly is the Hazmat Ops DLC pack? And exactly what it is a DLC pack, of course, for Helldivers. One that includes, of course, a weapon, a stratagem, and a whole set of armor, meaning a helmet, cape, and I guess chest piece. It's actually called armor, so yeah, that's what it is. This is one of the three that are included in the Reinforcement Pack 2, and it can also actually be bought separately as well, but when it comes to the reinforcement packs, as long as all the packs in there are good, or most of them are good, I say go for the packs instead. You save money and you get more things. So you know what, that's the thing to go for. Now if you've been questioning to buy this, or if you want to see what these things are, what's exactly included in this pack, what is its full functionality, you know, what do these things look like when they're maxed out, this video will answer all of those questions. So let's get started. Now the first thing I'm going to go over, of course, that was in the Hazmat Ops pack, is the uniform or the armor. Included, of course, is the helmet, armor, chest piece, you can call it, and cape for either male or female. You know, they're both included. Now as you can see right here on the screen, this is the armor in both male and female form. Going by aesthetics alone, this is my second favorite of the Reinforcement Pack 2, just for its hazardy, gas massy, toxic-y kind of look going on there. In a way, it actually does remind me a lot of Hellgas. Of course, that helmet just is really going to remind you of that. But then again, when you go to anything that is hazmat oriented or anything of that nature with the gas mask, you're going to get that kind of Hellgas kind of blend from Killzone, because that's kind of what they went with for the aesthetics of the Hellgas, I guess, helmet. So yeah, many people have actually said this reminds them of the Hellgas from Killzone, which is awesome, because what better way, you know, to continue that Killzone game than by going around shooting giant bugs? I mean, I'm sure they did that at some point in time, not including, you know, the ISA. But that's another thing altogether. This suit though is, as you can see right here, is just an awesome version of like a hazmat suit in like souped up space adventures, Helldivers form of it. And like I said, it is my second favorite. The cape, I could do without the cape, I guess. Nah, the cape's pretty cool. Nah, I'll just put my Demolitionist cape on. You guys know how much I love that thing. But yeah, this is how the suit looks. Nice hazmat kind of guy looking there. They definitely did go with the was right to go with the oxygen tank and the gas mask. I do like to use the gas mask when I'm doing my own little custom build. Now I've finally reduced it down to my favorites, with it being the Hazmat Ops helmet, the Demolitionist shoulder pads, and chest piece, and then of course the Demolitionist cape, because the cape is so awesome. But there you go, there is the overall look of the Hazmat Ops uniform set. Now next up is the AR-14D Paragon. This is my favorite weapon in the game right now. Well, not including the Justice. The Justice is just the go-to gun for me, of course. But the Paragon comes in a close second. And I've actually talked to a couple of people that played Helldivers, a couple of friends of mine, and they say the Paragon is their favorite. Reason why is because the Paragon is exactly a semi-automatic, just as I thought it was in the trailer, a semi-automatic poison like battle rifle. Basically, it is a single fire at first, and it fires off these nicely high damage, accurate rounds, and of course single fire, and they are actually laced with poison. Not something I saw coming at all. The poison is similar to the one that the bugs use. I think they call the stalkers or something like that. Cool enough. With that same kind of slow damage over time, movement slow in effect kind of going there, and that's awesome, especially when you're playing against those kind of enemies that like to rush you a lot. This is perfect for that. Later on, upgrades do include a bayonet, extended mags, AP rounds, and then of course burst fire, like if single fire wasn't awesome enough. Now when I was upgrading this weapon, I will say that I did initially go for, of course, the extended rounds and the AP and the poison, the burst fire, and I was last to put on the bayonet. The reason for that is that I don't use the bayonets too much, because I generally don't like the trade-off. I mean, they are awesome for melee. When you find those little vicious monstrosities of the cyborgs, they like to just group and claw and maul the hell out of you. It is perfect for fighting. You can kind of actually knock them back from you, which I've done successfully a couple of times. But at the same time, the melee is a lot slower than it used to be, and by a lot slower I mean like maybe a quarter of a second. But either way, everybody that plays a game knows that a second is a lot of time to pass. what goes down in 1 second is like a lifetime in normal people years. You know, normal people as in those people that don't play video games. And the trade-off is that instead of that rapid, low damage elbowing or hitting with the butt of your gun that you usually do with every other weapon, instead you drive the gun forward in a stabbing motion, and it's a little bit slower than, I mean, very like marginally slower than the standard melee. And I generally don't like it because, especially when I'm fighting the bugs, oh my gosh, I struggle fighting the bugs solo because simply they didn't even like throw hard enemies at me. They just kept swarming me with the lesser little scouts, and I couldn't keep these little fuckers off me. I mean, I would melee them, and the melee was just too slow, and actually 3 of these guys could take me down. And then I would shoot the gun, but because it's burst fire, you know, I'm firing off 3 rounds, and I'd expend my clip pretty quickly, trying to drown all these bugs out, and then, you know, the bigger guys got to start spawning. So they were just like, they were hammering me back and forth. I struggled with like a level. Okay, that was my fault. It was actually a hell dive, but that's not the point. But either way, it's an awesome gun. I do recommend it. Like I said, it is one of my favorites. I did like it more when it was single fire, though. I'm gonna say that one of the things that I kind of wish would change with Helldivers is the lack of like pulling back on upgrades. Say like the single fire, if you didn't want to use that, the double freedom, sawing off the shotgun. If you didn't want to do that, if you wanted to get the flame, you know, the incendiary rounds or something like that, I wish you can go back on some upgrades. Specifically, I want that single fire back. That's when I really had complete power over everything. The burst fire is awesome. It does down enemies. Like I said, I was playing Helldivers. I was playing level 10 cyborg mission. Those nice little cleaver guys. The lesser ones, not the butchers. I would down them in like 2 burst fires. The stalkers, 2 shots. You know, the third burst fire is awesome. That without a doubt, it's awesome. But at the same time, I would rather have the single fire over. I just feel that's more awesome, if that makes sense. But like I said, this is a very effective assault rifle. The burst fire, single rifle, doesn't matter which one you do. It's high damage, it's a high rate of fire. You know, you just keep clicking that thing. I say use the bayonet at your own risk. It's not necessary upgrade. I don't like it for a slow effect. I wish I could go back on it. I do use a laser sight when I use this gun now because it's a single fire or a burst fire, and I'd rather my shots hit, especially with these magazines. I'd rather, no matter, even if you have the extended mag, I'd rather my shots hit. So when it comes to semi-automatics, burst fire weapons, I like a laser sight on these guns, especially my sniper rifles and stuff like that. So I'd recommend it. Don't worry, I won't call you a noob for using a laser sight. You're cool with it. This is a very good anti-tank, anti-bug, and anti-cyborg weapon. It does do a good amount of damage. Even the little cyborg, like cyborgs, the hulking freaking mech guys that have the exposed belly. Good against them. Good against the lesser units. Good against the bugs. Was I using against? Yeah, it's good against the Luminous. I would say that it's good against the Luminous. Just know your first couple of rounds will, of course, get eaten up by the shields. I did down some good illusionists with this thing. The slow-on effect on the poison is awesome, I must say. I mean, it really is awesome. Poisoning these guys and slowing them down is a huge perk, especially when they're trying to, you know, chase after you. So yeah, good gun. Like I said, second favorite. Even if I can't roll back on to the single fire or roll back on the bayonet, still my second favorite weapon. And then last but not least is the Tox-13 Avenger, which initially I thought was like, nah. Now it's like, oh, fucking yeah. I mean, it is just like the Flam 40 Incinerator, where it's like a flamethrower, of course. You can see it right there, so it just looks just like that, except it's spraying green awesomeness. And it is acid. It looks like it's probably extracted from the stalkers themselves, and it even infects them, by the way. It has that same poison, damage over time, slow and effective, all like poison in the game. Versus the Flam 40, I will say that they have their own strengths, whereas the Flam 40, which is the flamethrower, is direct damage, and you know, it's damage that's done directly with the fire, and then a slight lingering effect. The Avenger works in the opposite way, whereas it's decent damage when it's, you know, spraying on them, but the damage over time is really what it, you know, holds its strength at. It's lasted for a while, and it's slowing them down, and it's damaging them over time. And I just realized that even just spraying a quick gust on them, you know, just you know, splash a little bit on these guys, and it does a considerable amount of damage. It is a very anti-tank and anti-bug. I mean, I keep saying tank. Why do I keep saying tank? Anti-cyborg and anti-bug weapon. This is a stratagem. That's another thing. So you do have to call in. It does take the place of your secondary, not your pistol, the Peacemaker. It takes the place of the secondaries, such as, you know, rocket launchers, healing guns, which is the Rep 80 or something like that. The grenade launcher, you know, it goes into that slot right there. If you're gonna use the sniffer, which is that minesweeper looking thing, that's the same slot that goes in. It's just that secondary part, you know, heavy weapon or two-handed weapon kind of slot that gets taken. You do have to call in, of course. One comes in, and you pick that puppy up, and then you go spraying people with it. The upgrades for this include increased range and increased magazine size, and I say go for the range, man. Go for that range right away. The magazine size, I was kind of hesitant on. I was like, it's a decent magazine. And then I upgraded, and I'm like, what were you thinking before? You can just spray so much more per, like, I don't know, fuel tank, I guess, or toxic tank. Either way, upgrading the magazine was an awesome thing as well. I do recommend it. But getting that range right away, not that you need to, but having it is awesome. Before, it was like I would spray the guys in a couple feet from me, and I would get that first line of guys. When I upgraded the range, it was spraying the first line of guys, and then they got the line behind them, which was awesome to see. I recommend this on Cyborg and Bug missions, of course, because the Cyborgs have a lot of units that like to group together that take a lot of damage when they get sprayed by this thing. Especially that over time, it slows them down, and they don't move too fast already. Particularly, like I said, those like mauling little husk guys, you can see them right now. Just those guys in general, I hate because they just, you know, they creep up on you, they take a lot of damage, and then they just maul the hell out of you once they get in range. The poison effect on them is at its greatest strength. It was made for these guys, honestly. Spray these guys down, douse them down, just bathe them in this toxic. I mean it, just bathe them in it. It is the perfect counter to these guys. It is also very good against the bugs, of course. You can spray these guys down, and it does affect them, even the poison types. It affects them all. This includes, of course, the Brood Commander, that highest ranking, kind of large, venomous, very angry little son of a... That kind of guy. It slows, it damages. It's actually good counter to these guys, especially when you're playing Helldivers, in which case they'll like to throw 4, 5, or sometimes even 6 of them in a group at you, and dousing all these guys down with that thing lines up the perfect chance for someone to drop, I don't know, an airstrike or a gun run on them, you know, just to mess them up. It is the perfect time for this, so I would recommend using on those. Do not use this on the Illuminate missions. The shields absorb most of it. It's not like the Flam 40, in which case you could burn them, and it, you know, stops the shields from coming back up. I've seen these guys get doused with acid and ignore just about all of it, and then these shields will pop right back up after that. It just doesn't have the same kind of effect, so I do not in any way recommend using this against the Illuminates. If someone's using it against the Illuminates and they counter-argue that, I guess, I just generally don't know where you can go with that. I've tried it on many occasions, and it just doesn't work. Maybe I got it turned on the wrong way, I don't know. But I don't recommend it, but I do recommend using this weapon. It is awesome. It is an awesome stratagem to have. Now for the final decision, should you buy this? I say yes, go for it. But of course, don't buy it singly. Do go for it in the form of the reinforcement pack number 2. And of course, there's a couple bucks more. Not a couple bucks, I mean like $2 more. And you get all 3 DLC packs: the Hazard Ops, the Pilot, and the, what is the other one? Demolitionist pack, all together in just like, you know, 2 more bucks than you would pay for just this alone. I do recommend the Demolitionist pack, as I said so in my other video, for different reasons. This one I do recommend, like I said, the AR, whatever it was, 14D Paragon, let's just call it the Paragon, I don't know why I went with the long name, is an awesome assault rifle, especially on turn up, especially if you're starting off. This is an awesome gun to have. I mean, you will dominate anywhere from level 1s to 5 if you're just starting off this game and you haven't got your skill down yet. Just that gun alone will do the trick for you. I would say it's an awesome rifle to have. That one right there gets my thumbs up, of course, maybe even 2 thumbs up. I just wish I can roll back on of course, the upgrades, but you can't do that, so I'll live with it. Yes, for the Paragon, the acid spewing kind of thing, awesome thing if we use this against the Cyborgs. I do bring it against my high-level Cyborg missions just to deal with those little vicious Rayman kind of guys running around and their little mobs of gangs and stuff like that. I douse these guys with this as soon as I see them. It is perfect for that. It is perfect for retreats when you got a nice group of enemies chasing you down. As long as they're not Illuminates, do not use against Illuminates. Douse these guys down and then make a mad dash for it. As for the armor is a nice, sexy looking thing, kind of like a Hazmat meets Hellgas kind of look. So I do recommend it. I do like particularly the helmet. But you know, all parts were kind of awesome. I see one guy say that he liked the oxygen tank in the front, and I can see why. Once I get used to, you know, get tired of my current, I guess, armor loadout, I may switch it up with that thing right there. Like I said, is my second favorite in form of aesthetics for the reinforcement pack number 2. So overall, like I said, buy this, but buy this in the reinforcement pack. It is a smarter decision. If you cannot shovel down the extra $2, then yeah, this thing, if you like what you see here, go for it, man. I do recommend it. It is an awesome pack. I also recommend checking out the demolition pack. That one right there, of course, is my favorite, and there will of course be a link to this right at the end of the video. And would you look at that, there is the link to the video right there, because just like I said it was. Anyways, if you did like this video, go ahead and hit with a thumbs up. If you disliked it, go ahead and hit with a thumbs down. I don't mind that. Just drop in the comment section down below why you disliked it. That's all I want to know. If it's something I can improve on, maybe I can change your mind on it, then that'd be awesome. If you have any questions, comments, anything to say, there's of course the comment section down there below. Not just me, but also your fellow Helldivers watching this video will of course comment, and they may answer your questions, or they may have some other questions you can answer. They may be able to offer some tips on what to use or how to use this more, better, I guess. So go ahead and drop a comment down there. Not only I, but they will also love to see it. If you want to hit me up in any other form or way, I do have a PSN that you can add me on, ds_synchro. You can also add me on Twitter. I'm now on Facebook apparently, and Google+. All links are in the description.